Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's finally time to start building this pool back up. So in case you've missed the previous episodes on this project, basically the way this started out is we got a lot of cracking concrete all the way around this pool. So I went through, rented a concrete saw and a demo hammer. We ripped out all of the old stuff. We had high school football team members from the local high school come in and help us remove all of the concrete. We drilled in a new rebar structure, got all of that tied in. Put in a new 2-inch line and rented a 3-inch core drill to be able to drill that through the wall. That line is running all the way back to the pump house, but it's finally time to start building the form. So I'm really excited about this. This is kind of the moment in the project I've been waiting for. I enjoy the carpentry side. I don't really like doing concrete stuff because everything's super heavy. It's miserable to work with. But this is going to be fun. So my buddy Cole, he works in construction. He's coming up to be able to help me out this weekend and hopefully knock all of this out so that we are ready in 1 week from now to be able to pour these walls back into place. So what do we need to get done before we can pour this? So first things first, I want to get this pool cleaned out just to make today much nicer. We've had a little bit of rain, so there's some water in the bottom of this. There's some other just, you know, kind of stuff blowing off the trees. So let's get this cleaned up first, and then we'll go from there and make a game plan on how we're going to be able to build this form out. Pool is clean, so I gotta run to Home Depot. I gotta pick up 2 more sheets of 3/4 inch plywood that we're gonna be using for the wall forms. I think I have enough dimensional lumber. It's stocked away in a barn. It's actually from some old fraternity benches. So for some of y'all watching, you might actually remember where this wood is from. But let me run there, and then we're gonna work on loading up all the material by the pool and then get to doing our layout. All right, Cole made it up to the farm, so we are about to start on the layout. We got all of the lumber loaded up. It's a bunch of scrap lumber that I've had from a previous project back in college. So we are going to run 2 string lines all the way down every single wall. That will set the elevation of these walls. We're gonna run it 3.5 inches above where the form is going to be, so a 2x4 will act as a spacer. And then we'll basically run it where the inside of the pool will be and then the outside of the wall. So we'll go ahead and start shooting blocks in to be able to tie these strings off too, and then run all of the lines. All right, that one's in. No. All right, so all you do, take this, basically form a loop. Yeah. Put 5 twists in it. On there.
Pull it tight.
Yep.
Oh, I do these fishing knots.
Just pull back on it. That's it.
Good.
All right, we got 2 of the walls marked out. So we got string lines running on the inside and the outside of the wall. We spaced these 3.5 inches from the top of this wall so we can use a 2x4 as a spacer when we're setting the form. You never want to run your string exactly to the top of a form or whatever you're marking, because if you have any distortion, it will continue to grow as you nail up to that. So you always want to use some form of a spacer block. But what we're doing now, we brought a level in and we ran up from this wall and marked both strings, and we're about to shoot 2 lines across here. So this new portion of the wall is not going to end up perfectly level, just because the bottom of the wall is so far out of whack. The more important thing is to be able to tie it in, because you really don't have any other reference for level, so it shouldn't look out of place. The important part is just tie it in flat with the wall.
Okay. I am right on my
Yeah, I am too.
You throw your pencil.
I'm just gonna throw a nail in it. So we got a string stretch now. The knot just broke loose, but we'll be able to tie that back in. So we're gonna hammer these nails down. These are duplex nails, so they have double heads. These are really useful for framing forms, especially when you have an application where you're gonna end up pulling the nail out. But what Cole is doing, he's gonna retie that knot, and then we're basically gonna set these nails down to the height right where this string is going to tie in and just barely meet those other two strings. Because again, it's not necessarily important that this wall is level. Obviously we want it to be as close as possible, but the important thing is that it ties in with these other two walls. All right, we got the layout done. So you can see we got 2 lines pulled for every single wall. This is what we're gonna build to. So we're gonna do one last sanity check, make sure everything is looking good. Really, the layout is the most critical part when you're building something like this, because if you get your lines wrong, everything else is gonna be wrong after that. But again, these are sitting 3.5 inches up above the finished pool height. So we're gonna start building the forms now. So in the corners of these pools, the first piece of the form that's gonna go in is gonna be this piece for this 45-degree detail. So I'm gonna take a 2x6 and rip it down to where basically this piece will, the 45s will be sticking like that. And then when the rest of our form comes in, we'll be able to nail into that. So our spacer block will fit in, and then it should just be right to the top, where we just touch.
Yeah, you're there. Money, dude.
There's plenty of movement on it.
Yeah.
It was just this one. That's this one. Really good. So maybe we should
measure inside.
actually let's do these walls first, right? Because the length is not as critical, and then we'll get these squared up.
Yeah.
With once we get this wall in, because then we'll have an accurate measurement. So I'm worried about this being able to move too much, and us building it too short. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do that.
23 foot 3 1/4.
All right, so let's just do 24. That'll give us enough run on the backside to tie in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So if we do 24,
that's right here.
okay, perfect. So that's gonna be 3 sheets of plywood.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, we got all of our 2x10s ripped down to 2 3/4 inches wide. This will just make better use of the lumber. And then also ripped a bunch of plywood down to 24 inches, which is gonna be our form wall. So
How are we gonna lift it up though? Once we whole run. That's a lot.
we can at least get 2 together.
Yeah.
Keep going. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this one.
Come up more.
More.
We need to slide down this way. Really can't. Back up towards you. Right there.
Still fire. There you go.
Oh, shit.
There we go.
I forgot my impact.
Yeah.
Alright, these are not light.
No, they're not. I'm glad we only did 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Coming up.
Alright. Forgot the washer, but that one's in. Very good. Woo! That was fun. Let's go. Woo!
Workout too. God
Wow.
dang.
Man, it's straightening out.
It's hugging up now, yeah.
Whew. All right, we got the first wall up. So it's looking good. We got tap guns on the bottom rail every 16 inches and then one on every vertical rail. So the only bad part right now is that we're gonna have to figure out a way to be able to straighten it up. So it's in line at the corners, but then this middle section kind of bows out. So I'm hoping we can be able to do that with the bracing that we're gonna run down to the floor. But I don't have turnbuckles, so I'm not sure how we're gonna be able to apply that amount of force. But relatively simple form to be able to put together. So we're gonna go ahead and knock out this wall. And then we'll go from there with tying in the corners and then this back wall. The last wall is in. So that thing was heavy. It was brutal, wasn't it, Cole?
Brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long day, but fortunately the sun is starting to fade, so it's cooling off a little bit, which will make it easier. So we got these 3 walls in. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna cut some 12-inch triangles to tie these corners together. And then we're gonna run some bracing down these walls so that it supports this top edge from blowing out, or at least bowing when we pour this. We'll do this.
There you go. I can hold that.
Put it a little bit further in.
That's it right there.
That's a solid corner right there.
No doubt. No blowouts here.
So the corner is a little bit out of square, actually a lot of it out of square. We got to get these forms in line with the string line so it looks good when we pour it. We're just going to use some ratchet straps. The way you would normally do this is with some turnbuckles. We do not have those, and they're like 20 to 50 bucks each, so you know, not really in the budget, but we're going to make it do with the ratchet straps. Right there is money. You got to use leverage to your advantage.
Hold it.
I mean, right there, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Well, unfortunately, this wall is looking like a wet noodle. So we got 2 straps on it down there, and you can see it's just going like that. So we really had to crank on those 2. So I think what we're going to do is where the straps are, we're going to run 45-degree bracing down to the floor of the pool, and then we'll probably rearrange the straps and pull in the midpoints, and we're probably going to have to just brace the heck out of this wall to be able to pull this wall straight. Really want this top edge to be able to be straight all the way down. What's happening is that the bottom of this wall is sitting out like that, so it's pulling, since we drilled it into the bottom, it's pulling the whole form out. And so we got to be able to force the top edge into place. And again, the way you normally do this is with turnbuckles, and a lot of them don't have those, so we kind of got to make do with what we got here.
How many do we need?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Boom. There she is. Ow. Woo! It's quite the day. Quite the day. We got this wall straightened out. All the other walls are on. Probably gonna throw in a few more braces tomorrow morning, but like, that's really it. And then add a little curb just around the outside. That'll be easy. That's just drilling like a 2x4 or something in. Should be simple. What'd you think, Cole?
It's a hell of a day.
It was. It was. It was made up for a long day. So we got her done, and this wall actually lines up pretty darn well with the string, which is what we were after. So we will we'll continue on the bracing in the morning. Woo! Finally, the inside walls and bracing are done for the concrete form. So we are one step closer to pouring. This took a lot longer than I was expecting, unfortunately, so I might have to push the pour back 1 week, but that's okay. You know, it took a lot more to be able to straighten these walls, but you know, it's more important to be able to try at least to get it as right as we can the first time, because really once this concrete is in, it's not moving again for hopefully another 50 to 60 years. But you can see all of the bracing tied in. Really, these walls, I mean, they probably would have been okay without it, but you know, you can see they're pretty darn solid. I'm hoping that we won't have a blowout. You know, got the corners tied in with the plywood pieces, so those are pretty solid. And then all of the bracing over here was really to be able to straighten that wall out and pull it as close to the string line as we could get it. That's really why the layout on projects like this is so critical, just to be able to start with a solid foundation and know where your reference line is. But on the next episode, we're going to be putting the skirting around the top edge. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to do that, and then build out the form for where the pool light recess is. So thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this type of content. If you do, please hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way. So really appreciate it, and see y'all in the next episode.